There's something powerful about the moment you realize that today is not just another day. It's not a repeat of yesterday. It's not a continuation of your past mistakes. It's not a sentence you have to serve. Today is something entirely different. Today is a brand new day. And I want you to feel that, not just hear it, because most people don't actually start new days. They drag yesterday into today. They carry old fears, old doubts, old failures, and they lay them gently into the present as if they belong here. But they don't. They never did. A brand new day means something very specific. It means you are not obligated to be who you were yesterday. You are not required to repeat the same habits, the same excuses, the same patterns that have kept you stuck. You have permission right now to become someone else. But here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. A new day doesn't change anything unless you do. The sun rises whether you're ready or not. Time moves whether you act or not. Opportunity exists whether you take it or not. So the question isn't whether today is new. The question is whether you are. Because if you wake up with the same mindset, the same fears, the same reluctance to step forward, then today will look exactly like yesterday. And the day after that will look the same too. And before you know it, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you find yourself living a life that feels like it never really began. But it doesn't have to be that way. A brand new day is not just about time. It's about choice. It's about the moment you decide that you're no longer going to wait. Not waiting for the perfect time. Not waiting for the right conditions. Not waiting for someone to come and give you permission, because no one is coming. And that's not a bad thing. It's the most empowering thing you could ever realize. Because if no one is coming, it means it's up to you. And that's where everything changes. You see, most people are afraid of starting. Not because they don't know what to do, but because starting means responsibility. Starting means you can no longer blame your past, your circumstances, or other people. Starting means the outcome is on you, and that's scary. But it's also where freedom lies. Because the moment you accept that today is yours, completely yours, you also accept that you have the power to shape it. Not perfectly, not without struggle, but intentionally. And intention is everything. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to know exactly how things will unfold. What you need is a decision. A clear, unwavering decision that today will not be wasted. That today will not be ordinary. That today will not be another day you look back on and say, I wish I had done more. Because regret doesn't come from failure. It comes from inaction. It comes from knowing you had a chance, even a small one, and you didn't take it. It comes from the quiet voice inside you that said, try. And you answered with, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow is a dangerous place. Tomorrow is where dreams go to hide. Tomorrow is where goals go to die slowly, comfortably, without resistance. Tomorrow feels safe because it doesn't demand anything from you right now. But a brand new day is not about tomorrow. It's about today. It's about this moment. Right here. Right now. This is where your life is happening. Not in the past. Not in the future. Right here. And if you can learn to treat this moment like it matters, everything begins to change. Because success is not built in giant leaps. It's built in small, consistent actions taken in moments just like this one. It's built in the decision to get up when you don't feel like it. To keep going when it's hard. To show up when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching, because that's who you really are. Not when things are easy. Not when everything is going your way. But when it's quiet, when it's difficult, when it would be so easy to quit, and you don't. That's where identity is formed. And identity is more powerful than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It rises and falls. It's unreliable. But identity, who you believe you are, that stays. So if you wake up every day and you tell yourself, I'm trying, you'll always be trying. But if you wake up and say, this is who I am, everything shifts because people act in alignment with who they believe they are. If you believe you are disciplined, you act disciplined. If you believe you are resilient, you act resilient. If you believe you are someone who finishes what they start, you finish what you start. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens through decisions. Small decisions, repeated daily, especially on days when you don't feel like it. Especially on days when it would be easier to go back to your old self. Because your old self is comfortable. Your old self is familiar. Your old self knows exactly how to keep you safe and stuck. But growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Becoming someone new is uncomfortable. And that's the price of a brand new day. You don't get a new life without letting go of the old one. You don't get new results without new actions. You don't get a new identity without stepping into something unfamiliar. And yes, it will feel uncertain. Yes, it will feel difficult. Yes, there will be moments when you doubt yourself. But doubt is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're doing something that matters. Because if it didn't matter, you wouldn't feel anything at all. A brand new day is not about eliminating fear. It's about moving forward despite it. It's about understanding that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else is more important. Your growth is more important. Your future is more important. The life you could build is more important. And when you start to see it that way, fear loses its power. It doesn't disappear, but it no longer controls you because you're no longer waiting to feel ready. You're deciding to act anyway. And that's where transformation begins. Not in the perfect moment, not in the ideal conditions, but in the messy, uncertain, imperfect reality of right now. You don't need everything to be clear. You just need to take the next step. One step. That's it. And then another. And then another. And before you know it, you're moving. And once you're moving, you're no longer stuck. And once you're no longer stuck, everything becomes possible. That's the power of a brand new day. It's not that everything changes instantly. It's that anything can begin, and beginnings are powerful. Because every great achievement, every meaningful life, every story worth telling, it all starts the same way, with a decision that today will be different. A decision that you will show up fully, completely, without excuses. A decision that you will no longer settle for less than what you're capable of. And let's be honest, you already know what you're capable of. You felt it. In those moments when you pushed a little harder. In those moments when you didn't quit. In those moments when you surprised yourself. That's who you are. Not the version of you that holds back. Not the version of you that doubts and hesitates. But the version of you that shows up even when it's hard. The version of you that keeps going. The version of you that refuses to give up. That version of you is real. And a brand new day is your chance to become that person again. Not once, not occasionally, but consistently. Because consistency is what separates intention from reality. It's not what you do once that defines you. It's what you do repeatedly. So if today is truly a brand new day, then prove it. Not with words, not with promises, but with action. Do something different. Do something uncomfortable. Do something that moves you forward, even if it's small. Because small actions taken daily create massive change over time. And time will pass anyway. That's the one thing you can't control. But how you use it, that's entirely up to you. So don't waste it. Don't let today slip by unnoticed, unchanged, unchallenged. Don't let it become just another day. Make it count. Make it meaningful. Make it a turning point. Because one day, just one day, can change everything. One day can be the day you decided to start. One day can be the day you refused to quit. One day can be the day you became someone new. Why not today? Why not now? What are you waiting for? Because whatever it is, it's not coming. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes because of it. Confidence doesn't come before you start. It comes because you did. The life you want doesn't appear when you're ready. It appears when you decide to go after it. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop telling yourself that you'll begin later. Later is an illusion. Now is real. Now is where your power is. Now is where your life is. And now is all you need. A brand new day is not something you're given. It's something you claim. It's something you step into. It's something you create through the choices you make, the actions you take, and the standards you set for yourself. So set them high. Higher than you're comfortable with. Higher than what you think you can handle. Because you're capable of more than you realize. You always have been. You've just been waiting for the right moment to prove it. This is that moment. This is your brand new day. Don't let it pass you by. Today is built in hours, not intentions. And that might be uncomfortable to hear, because intentions feel good. Intentions are clean. They are perfect in your mind. They don't require effort. They don't demand sacrifice. They don't expose you to failure. You can sit with your intentions all day and feel like you're moving forward, like you're becoming something, like you're getting closer. But nothing actually changes. Because the truth is, your life does not respond to what you intend to do. It responds to what you actually do hour by hour, choice by choice, moment by moment. And most people underestimate the power of a single hour. They think in big pictures, big dreams, big goals. One day I'll change my life. One day I'll become disciplined. One day I'll get serious. But they ignore the only place where change actually happens, the hour they're in right now. You don't live your life in years. You don't even live it in days. You live it in hours. And if you can't control an hour, you can't control a day. If you can't control a day, you can't control a life. It's that simple. Because an hour is small enough to manage, but powerful enough to matter. One focused hour can move you forward. One distracted hour can set you back. One intentional hour can build momentum. One careless hour can break it. And when you stack those hours together, they form your reality. Not your plans. Not your ideas. Not your intentions. Your hours. So the question becomes, what are you doing with this one right now? Not later. Not after you feel ready. Not after you find motivation. But right now, in this exact hour, what are you choosing? Because that choice is shaping you. Whether you realize it or not, every hour is training you to become someone. It's reinforcing habits, strengthening patterns, building an identity. If you spend this hour focused, you are becoming someone who focuses. If you spend this hour distracted, you are becoming someone who avoids. If you spend this hour disciplined, you are becoming someone who follows through. And if you spend this hour making excuses, you are becoming someone who always will. There is no neutral. There is no pause. There is no, this doesn't count. Every hour counts, and that's where most people lose, not in the big moments, not in the major decisions, but in the quiet, ordinary hours where no one is watching and nothing feels urgent. That's where lives are built or wasted, because it's easy to show up when everything is on the line. It's easy to push when the pressure is high, when the deadline is near, when the consequences are immediate. But what about the hours where nothing forces you? What about the hours where you could do the work or you could delay it? Where you could stay focused or you could drift? Where you could move forward or you could stay comfortable? That's where the real battle is. And that's where your future is decided. Not in what you say you want, but in what you choose to do when you don't have to. Because discipline is not built in intensity. It's built in consistency. It's built in showing up in hours that don't feel significant, but are. It's built in choosing progress over comfort, again and again, until it becomes who you are. And the reason this is so hard is because the results are not immediate. You don't see the impact of 1 hour. You don't feel the transformation after a single focus session. You don't wake up the next day as a completely different person. So it's easy to think it doesn't matter. It's easy to tell yourself, I'll do it later. But later becomes another hour, and then another, and suddenly the day is gone, and nothing has changed. But here's what you don't see. Every hour you waste is not just lost time, it's lost potential. It's a missed opportunity to reinforce the person you're trying to become. And every hour you use well is not just progress. It's proof. Proof that you can do it. Proof that you are becoming someone different. And that proof matters. Because confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from evidence, from showing yourself again and again that you can do what you said you would do. And that only happens in hours, not in ideas, not in plans, not in intentions, in hours. So if you want to change your life, stop thinking about the whole day. Stop overwhelming yourself with everything you need to do. Stop waiting for the perfect schedule, the perfect routine, the perfect mindset. Focus on hour, just the hour. When the hour you're in, that's it. Give it your full attention, your full effort, your full presence. Cut out the distractions. Silence the noise. Do the work. And when that hour is done, don't look too far ahead. Just move to the next one and do it again. Because when you start stacking hours like that, something begins to shift. Momentum builds. Clarity increases. Confidence grows. Not because everything is suddenly easy, but because you are showing up consistently. And consistency changes everything. It turns effort into habit. It turns habit into identity. It turns identity into results. And it all starts with how you use your hours. Think about it. If you had just 3 focused hours every day, truly focused, no distractions, no excuses, how much could you accomplish? How much could you learn? How much could you build? How much closer could you get to the life you say you want? The answer is more than you think. But most people never find out because they trade those hours away. They give them to distractions, to comfort, to things that feel urgent but don't matter. And at the end of the day, they're left with intentions, unfinished plans, unrealized potential, and the quiet frustration of knowing they could have done more. But you don't have to live that way. You can decide that your hours matter. You can decide that your time is valuable. You can decide that you will no longer let your day be controlled by convenience or comfort. You can take ownership, not of everything at once, just of the hour you're in, because that's where your power is, not in controlling the entire future, but in mastering the present, and the present is always an hour. Sometimes less, sometimes just a moment, but it's enough. It's always enough to begin. And beginning is what matters, not perfection, not speed, not having everything figured out, just beginning. Taking that first step in this hour, and then another in the next, and another after that, until movement becomes progress, and progress becomes transformation. But it only happens if you respect the hour. If you treat it like it matters. If you stop seeing it as something to get through, and start seeing it as something to use. Because time is not something you spend, it's something you invest. And every hour is an investment. You can invest it in growth, in learning, in building something meaningful. Or you can invest it in distraction, in avoidance, in things that leave you exactly where you are. The choice is always yours. And the outcome is always a reflection of that choice. So if you're serious about change, if you truly want today to be a brand new day, then stop focusing on what you intend to do. Start focusing on what you're doing right now, in this hour. Because this hour is not separate from your future. It is your future. It's being built right here, right now, through the actions you take or don't take. And once you understand that, once you truly feel that you stop wasting time, you stop waiting, you stop negotiating with yourself, you start acting not perfectly, but consistently, not with motivation, but with intention backed by action. Because intention without action is nothing. It's a story you tell yourself to feel better about not moving. But action, that's real. Action creates change. Action builds momentum. Action turns possibility into reality. And action only exists in hours, so make your hours count. Not all at once, not forever. Just this one, just this hour. Right now, give it everything you have. And then do it again. And again. Until it becomes who you are.